5 gentle Zen teachings to forgive, relax, and sleep peacefully. You're not broken. You're just tired. Tired of holding on. Tired of trying. Tired of not being able to rest, even when the world is quiet. Tonight, let me take you through 5 gentle Zen teachings, not to fix you, but to help you forgive, relax your heart, and fall into the deep, peaceful sleep you deserve. Just breathe, and let it all begin. In tonight's journey, before we begin, a gentle note: this isn't just a video, it's a space. A quiet space where you are allowed to pause, to breathe, to let go. There will be moments of silence woven into this journey. No voice, no words, only soft music and your breath. These are not empty spaces. They are part of the meditation. Moments for your mind to rest, for your heart to soften. Let them hold you, not rush you. And as we near the end, you'll notice the sound gently fading, easing you into deep sleep. Without effort, if you are still here, fully present until the last breath of this journey, you'll receive a small gift, a simple bedtime practice. Not just to help you sleep, but to slowly, gently, transform how you live. Let us begin now, together. In gentle. 1. To forgive is to free yourself first. There's an old Zen saying, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. At first, it sounds dramatic, but if you've ever carried resentment in your heart, especially when you lie awake at night, you know how true it is. That slow burning heaviness, that mental loop of what someone did or said, becomes its own form of suffering. Not because the event still exists, but because we keep it alive in our minds. Let me tell you a story. A young monk once traveled across the mountains to meet a Zen master. His heart was heavy. For years, he had harbored deep resentment toward someone who had betrayed him in his past. "How do I let go of what they did?" he asked the master. "Every night, I lie awake thinking about it. Sometimes I feel angry, sometimes I feel like a fool, but always, I feel trapped." The master looked at him silently, then pointed to a large rock nearby. "Pick it up," he said. The monk did. "Now carry it with you everywhere you go today." The monk nodded, a bit confused, but obeyed. As the hours passed, his arms grew tired, his back sore, and his mind irritated. By evening, the master said, "You may put it down now." The monk dropped the rock with relief. The master smiled. Forgiveness is not about the person who hurt you. It's about putting the rock down. That story might sound simple, but in it lies one of the most powerful Zen teachings on forgiveness, and it's deeply connected to your ability to sleep peacefully at night. Why holding on hurts your sleep? From a scientific standpoint, harboring resentment triggers stress responses in the body. Your sympathetic nervous system, the one responsible for fight or flight, stays activated. Cortisol levels rise, heart rate increases, the mind races, and sleep? It becomes elusive. The body cannot truly rest in a state of psychological threat. Forgiveness, then, is not just a spiritual ideal. It is a biological necessity for rest. But here's what most people misunderstand. Forgiveness is not forgetting, condoning, or denying what happened. It's not about the other person deserving it. It's about releasing yourself from the cycle of pain. Zen teaches that we suffer not because things happen, but because we attach to them. We replay them, identify with them, cling to the story. Forgiveness is the gentle art of loosening that grip. The nighttime loop. Why past hurts come back at bedtime. Have you noticed how old memories resurface at night? You're lying in bed, the world is quiet, and suddenly that fight from 3 years ago starts replaying like it happened yesterday. This is no accident. When the mind no longer has external distractions, it returns to unfinished emotions. It seeks closure. Zen reminds us, if you don't sit with your pain during the day, it will sit with you at night. Forgiveness, therefore, is part of a sleep ritual. It's the practice of closure, not because everything is resolved, but because you choose to no longer carry it. Letting go, a practice, not a feeling. Many people say, I want to forgive, but I don't feel ready. Zen gently challenges this. Forgiveness is not a feeling that arrives one day. It's a conscious decision, a practice of releasing, sometimes again and again, until the weight begins to lift. Here's a simple Zen-inspired forgiveness practice you can do before sleep. Nightly forgiveness ritual. 5 minutes before bed. Sit or lie down comfortably. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Visualize the person or situation. Don't force emotion. Just see them in your mind's eye. Whisper internally, I choose to let go. I forgive, not because they deserve it, but because I do. I deserve peace. Imagine the burden as smoke. Visualize it lifting off your chest, floating into the sky, dissolving. Breathe deeply again, and end with the words, I am free. I am safe. I can rest. This may feel strange at first. Your mind may resist, but over time, it becomes easier. Your nervous system begins to relax. You sleep not just as a body resting, but as a soul unburdened. A gentle reminder from Zen. Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh once said, when you learn how to suffer, you suffer less. Forgiveness is not denying your pain. It's honoring it so deeply that you refuse to let it define your future. You no longer give power to what was. Instead, you reclaim power over what is, this breath, this night, this sacred moment of rest. When you forgive, your past no longer robs your present, and sleep becomes a return home. 2. True relaxation is not escape, it is awareness without resistance. At the end of a long day, when your body is tired but your mind won't stop spinning, you might find yourself doing what most people do, reaching for distraction. Scrolling your phone, turning on a show, eating something sweet. These small escapes feel comforting at first, but Zen gently invites us to ask, are you truly relaxing, or just avoiding? In Zen, real relaxation is not about numbing out or fleeing discomfort. It's about presence. It's about meeting each sensation, thought, or emotion with openness and acceptance, without resistance. Let's begin with a simple story. The tale of the burning teacup. A monk once sat in meditation beside his teacher. The wind was howling. Thunder rolled in the distance. The monk's legs hurt. His mind kept wandering. Finally, he groaned and said, Master, I can't take this anymore. I need a break. I just want to feel peace. The master nodded and said, Go have some tea. As the monk poured his tea, the master took the kettle and poured scalding water into the monk's cup, so much that it spilled over and burned his hand. What are you doing? The monk cried. The master replied calmly, You asked for peace, but poured yourself pain. You resisted what was, and that's what burned you. Resistance creates tension, not what you think. In the modern world, we often confuse relaxation with avoidance. We think, if I can just get rid of this anxiety, this overthinking, this to-do list in my head, then I can relax. But Zen offers a radically different view. It's not the sensation or thought that prevents relaxation. It's our resistance to it. We tell ourselves, I shouldn't feel this way. I have to stop thinking about that. I need to calm down immediately. This inner pushing and pulling creates more tension than the original discomfort itself. The mind fights, the body braces, and sleep, once again, feels out of reach. Relaxation is not passive, it is deep awareness. Zen master Dogen taught, to study the way is to study the self. To study the self is to forget the self. Relaxation begins not by controlling the mind, but by simply noticing it, with gentleness. When you bring full awareness to your breath, to your body, to your inner weather, you begin to melt the tension, not by force, but by attention. This is why Zen breathing practices have helped countless people overcome insomnia and chronic anxiety, not by sedation, but by returning them to their natural rhythm. Try this Zen-inspired bedtime breathing practice. If your mind often races at night, or if your body feels restless in bed, try this short practice. Just 5 minutes can shift your nervous system from fight or flight to rest and digest. The 4-7-8 Zen breathing technique. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Feel the breath fill your belly, not your chest. Hold for 7 seconds. During this pause, observe the stillness between breaths. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. Imagine releasing tension with the breath, like a leaf floating downstream. Repeat for 4 to 8 rounds. Let each cycle be slower, gentler. This technique, while simple, signals safety to the brain. It tells your body, it's okay to rest now. Nothing needs to be fixed. Just be here. The power of radical acceptance. A young woman once told her Zen teacher, I've tried everything to relax. Yoga, candles, apps, nothing works. The teacher said, close your eyes. Tell me everything you feel. She listed tension, worry, restlessness, loneliness. The teacher said, now say to each one, welcome. She opened her eyes in disbelief. Welcome them? But I want to get rid of them. The teacher smiled. That's why they stay. They just want to be seen. Relaxation isn't the absence of noise, it's the softening toward it. Have you ever noticed how trying to force yourself to relax makes you feel even tenser? That's because relaxation isn't something we achieve. It's something we allow, like a tight muscle unclenching when it realizes it's safe. Zen teaches that awareness, gentle, non-judgmental attention, is the antidote to restlessness. When you stop trying to fix the moment and instead witness it, your entire system begins to exhale. Before bed tonight, try this 3-minute awareness meditation. Lie down and feel the contact points. Notice where your body touches the bed, your heels, back, shoulders, head. Let your breath be natural. No need to change it. Just feel it. Say silently with each exhale, I don't need to escape. I can just be here. Notice one thing you're feeling right now. Maybe it's tightness in your chest, a thought, or even nothingness. Don't push it away. Just acknowledge. You're allowed to be here too. Closing reflection. In a world that constantly tells us to do, Zen invites us to simply be, not by escaping discomfort, but by relaxing into it. Awareness without resistance, presence without pressure. True relaxation is not the absence of thought. It is the gentle return to the body, to breath, to now. And when you lie from that place, sleep comes not as an escape, but as a natural unfolding. Like a flower closing for the night, without trying, without force, just because it trusts. Three. Of the script for your Zen, sleep is a return to trust. There is something profoundly vulnerable about falling asleep. We lie down, close our eyes, surrender control, and drift into a state where we no longer think, decide, or defend. In those quiet hours, we place our bodies, our thoughts, and even our fears into the unknown. And yet, for so many, that surrender doesn't come easily. Sleep eludes us not because the body is unwilling, but because the heart is unready. Zen teaches that sleep is not merely a physical act, but a spiritual one. To truly rest, we must trust, and that, for many of us, is the real challenge. There's a quiet story told in Zen circles about a soldier who returned home after many years of war. Every night, he would lie in bed with his eyes open, unable to sleep. His home was peaceful, his family was safe, yet something within him couldn't let go. He had spent too many nights in survival mode, always alert, always scanning for danger. One day, he visited a Zen master and asked, "Why can't I rest? Everything is fine now, but I feel like I'm still on the battlefield." The master poured tea into a cup, then kept pouring. The tea spilled over, soaking the table. "This," the master said, "is your mind. There is no more danger. But you're still full of fear. Until you empty the cup, you cannot taste peace." That metaphor touches something deep in all of us. Even when our external lives are safe, our internal systems may still be carrying old alarms, outdated patterns of hypervigilance, emotional tension from betrayals, breakups, failures, or childhood wounds. Our body may be lying in bed, but our nervous system is still braced for what might go wrong. In that state, the idea of trust can feel not only difficult, but impossible. Yet this is where Zen offers an invitation, not to force trust, but to return to it, not as a demand, but as a quiet homecoming. The truth is, you already know how to trust. You did it as a child. Without needing proof, you slept in the arms of your parents, trusting that they would hold you. You closed your eyes and believed the world would still be here when you opened them. That innocence still lives within you. It's not lost, it's just been buried under layers of control, anxiety, and self-protection. Zen doesn't ask us to erase those layers all at once. It invites us to breathe with them, to notice them, and slowly, gently, to soften, because sleep does not come when we demand it. It comes when we signal to our system, "You are safe now." It's okay to let go. What keeps many people awake at night isn't the noise of the world, but the noise of their thoughts, the constant rehearsing of what might happen. What should have happened? What needs to happen tomorrow? But underneath all of that is a deeper question. Can I let go and still be okay? Sleep, in this sense, becomes a trust exercise. It's the mind asking the body, "Will you hold me if I fall?" And it's the body whispering back, "Always." There's a practice in Zen called resting in the cradle of breath. It's incredibly simple, but profoundly powerful. You lie down, place your hands gently on your belly, and begin to feel the rise and fall of each breath. Inhale, and say silently, "I am held." Exhale, and say, "I am safe," over and over, until your body starts to believe it. At first, it might feel mechanical. You might not feel safe. But the repetition isn't about forcing belief. It's about remembering what safety feels like in the body. It's about inviting trust to return, not as an idea, but as a felt sense. Some nights, the trust may not come. Some nights, your mind will still run. Your breath will still feel shallow. And sleep may take its time. That's okay too. Trust isn't an achievement, it's a relationship. And like any relationship, it grows through consistency, through patience, through presence. Even just saying to yourself, "I don't feel safe right now, but I'm here with myself," is a form of healing. It's a conversation of care. One of the most transformative things you can say to yourself before bed is this: "I've done enough for today." The world can carry itself tonight. We often carry the illusion that everything depends on us, that we must fix, control, plan. But sleep asks us to release that grip. Not forever, just for now. Zen encourages this gentle letting go, like autumn leaves falling from a branch, not because the tree is broken, but because the season has changed. Tonight, as you lie down, you might still hear echoes of the day, unfinished tasks, lingering conversations, unspoken worries. You don't need to push them away. You can simply acknowledge them with kindness. "I see you. You belong. But for now, let's rest." That act alone, of seeing without resisting, is a doorway to trust. And through that doorway, sleep can enter like a quiet friend. Remember, trust is not something you earn through certainty. It's something you offer in the absence of it. And that is what makes it so sacred. You don't need to know how tomorrow will unfold. You just need to know that right now, in this moment, you are safe enough to let go. So breathe. Place your hand on your heart. Feel its rhythm. It has been beating for you every second of your life, even when you weren't watching. That's trust. That's life saying, "I've got you." And in that knowing, may you find peace. May your breath deepen. May your body soften. And may you return to the deep, nourishing sleep that has always been waiting for you, not as an escape, but as a return home. 4. The mind at peace sees everything clearly. There's a moment just before sleep when everything quiets down, the lights are off. Your phone is finally set aside, and the world seems to fade into the background. But that's also when the internal noise can grow loudest. Thoughts start spinning. Did I say the wrong thing? What if tomorrow doesn't go well? Why do I feel so behind? Like a stone tossed into still water. One anxious thought can ripple into many. And suddenly, Your chance at rest feels far away. But Zen teaches something radically gentle. Peace of mind doesn't come from solving every problem. It comes from seeing through them. When the mind is truly at peace, even the most complicated emotions become simple, clear, and soft. There's a famous Zen story about a student who came to his master asking for clarity. "My thoughts are a mess," he said. "I can't focus. I feel overwhelmed all the time." The master took the student to a quiet pond. The water was muddy from the recent rain, clouded and chaotic. The master said nothing, just sat and waited. Over time, the water began to settle. The mud sank to the bottom, and slowly, the surface became clear, like a mirror. "This," the master finally said, "is your mind. You don't need to stir it or fix it. You just need to let it settle." That simple image holds a timeless truth. When our thoughts become turbulent, our natural instinct is to do something: analyze, control, distract. But every attempt to force clarity only adds more movement to the mind. Zen reminds us, the clarity we seek is already within us, it's just hidden beneath the mental turbulence. And like a muddy pond, it becomes visible when we stop agitating it. At night, this teaching is especially powerful. So many people try to think their way into sleep, believing they must resolve every worry, answer every question, or at least plan everything perfectly for tomorrow. But in doing so, they only stir the water more. True rest comes not from fixing, but from releasing the compulsion to fix. It's a shift from doing to being, from chasing to witnessing. The moment you stop wrestling with your thoughts and instead allow them to pass, like clouds across the sky, the mind begins to calm. And in that stillness, sleep can unfold. You might be wondering, how do I stop thinking so much? But that question itself is a form of thinking. Zen doesn't offer a trick to turn the mind off like a light switch. Instead, it invites you to gently bring awareness to where you are, your breath, your body. This exact moment, the mind will wander, yes, but each time it does, you bring it back, not with judgment, not with effort, just with gentleness. There's a practice in Zen known as the body scan, and it's one of the most powerful tools for calming the overactive mind before bed. It's not complicated. You simply bring your attention to different parts of your body, starting from the feet and moving upward, and observe what you feel there. Tension, warmth, tingling, or even numbness. You don't need to change anything. Just notice. As your attention anchors to the body, the mind begins to quiet. Thoughts still arise, but they lose their grip. Like background noise, they fade. What remains is presence, and in presence, peace begins to blossom. Here's how you can try it tonight. Lie on your back. Close your eyes, and bring your attention to your feet. Feel their weight, their contact with the bed. Then slowly move up, calves, knees, thighs, hips. Don't rush, don't evaluate, just observe. When your mind wanders, as it will, simply bring it back to wherever you left off. This is not about perfection. It's about return, again and again, and through that returning, the waters of the mind slowly begin to still. There is a line in Zen that says, "The quieter you become, the more you can hear." At night, this quietness is not the absence of sound, it's the absence of mental struggle. When you allow your mind to be as it is, without grasping or resisting, something beautiful begins to unfold. You realize that most of the things you were worried about were not urgent, not eternal, not as defining as they felt. You start to see clearly, not through the lens of fear or pressure, but through stillness. And clarity doesn't mean having all the answers. It means knowing what matters right now. At bedtime, what matters is not fixing your whole life, it's allowing your nervous system to soften, your breath to slow, your heart to feel safe enough to sleep. Zen teaches that seeing clearly is not something you achieve, it's something you return to when the fog of distraction lifts. So tonight, when thoughts arise, as they surely will, don't fight them. Don't try to force them away. Simply recognize them, thank them for visiting, and let them pass. Imagine each thought as a paper lantern floating down a stream, brief, gentle, glowing, then gone. Your job is not to catch them. Your job is to sit beside the stream and watch. Eventually, the lanterns grow fewer, the stream slows, and you begin to feel something you may not have felt in a long time: clarity. The kind that isn't loud or proud, the kind that whispers, "Everything is okay for now. You can rest." And with that whisper, sleep returns, not as an escape, but as a natural conclusion to your day. A quiet gift, a soft, deserved pause. Fan 5. Zen. Let the day fall away like autumn leaves. There is something poetic about the way trees let go of their leaves in autumn. They don't struggle, they don't cling, they don't question the timing. When the moment is right, the leaf loosens, flutters gently through the air, and falls to the ground without regret. It doesn't worry about what's next. It simply trusts the cycle. In Zen, this image is more than just seasonal. It is a metaphor for the art of release. And each night, as we prepare for sleep, we are invited into that same practice, to let the day fall away like autumn leaves. Most of us go to bed not just with our bodies, but with the weight of an entire day sitting on our chests. Conversations that didn't go well, tasks left unfinished, things we should have said, things we wish we didn't say. We carry these like invisible baggage, trying to fall asleep while still gripping the hours behind us. But Zen teaches, nothing that belongs to the day needs to follow you into the night. Letting go, however, is not about pretending the day didn't happen. It's about honoring it fully, and then releasing it with kindness. Just like the tree doesn't hate the leaf as it falls, we don't have to resent or resist what occurred. Instead, we simply recognize, that moment has passed. That page is written. That breath is done. There's a practice in Zen called evening reflection, and it's a gentle ritual that helps the mind and heart transition from doing to being. You sit quietly, preferably with a cup of warm tea or simply your breath, and you replay the day, not to analyze, but to see. You notice what felt heavy. You acknowledge what brought you joy. And then, softly, you say, "Thank you. I release you now." This simple gesture signals to your body and spirit that it's safe to shift. That the sun has set not just outside your window, but within you too. That you are not responsible for carrying the whole world to bed. Only your breath, only this moment. One beautiful way to deepen this process is by practicing gratitude. Before you close your eyes tonight, bring to mind 3 things, no matter how small, that you are thankful for. A kind word, the softness of your pillow, the quiet in the room. Gratitude doesn't erase the stress of the day, but it reorients the mind toward peace. It reminds you that not all was heavy, that there is still light, still softness, still beauty, even on difficult days. You might imagine each of your worries, each tension or regret, as a golden leaf gently falling from your body. One by one, they drift down. That thought about work, released. That worry about the future, floating away. That moment of self-judgment, let go. You're not forcing them to fall, you're allowing it. Just like the tree trusts that bare branches are not the end, but the beginning of renewal. And as you lie there in the stillness of your room, your breath slow and steady, you begin to feel a lightness. Not because everything is perfect, but because you've made peace with the imperfection. You've made space for rest. You've chosen to trust the process of letting go. And in doing so, you return to what you've always had beneath all the tension, a still, quiet center that needs nothing but this breath, this night, this now. Sleep doesn't always come quickly, but it does come more gently when we meet it without baggage. When we arrive as the tree does in late autumn, uncluttered, unburdened, and open to the softness of the dark. So tonight, as the world fades, let the day fall away. Let your mind be bare. Let your heart be light. There is nothing left to carry. There is only the quiet, and you are ready to enter it. Thank you for spending this peaceful moment with me. If this message brought you comfort, insight, or even a little more ease in your breath, I invite you to subscribe to this channel, Buddhism in You. Together, we explore gentle teachings and simple truths that help us grow, not through striving, but through stillness, not by chasing success, but by discovering peace. And if you're still here, that tells me something beautiful. A part of you is ready. Ready to live with more presence. Ready to sleep with more ease. Ready to walk this path, one soft breath at a time. See you tomorrow night, right here,